Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Love It or Shove It, where we talk about love and relationship. And we either love this show because there is so much greatness and so much raw things that happening, or you just say, you know what, it's not for me, and you just shove it. And if this is the first time you are tuning into this episode, welcome to this beautiful talk show. And my name is Irina Portnova. I'm all about manifestation. I call myself Manifestation Star because I manifested great things in my life and I did it with joy and continue doing it with ease. And I'm here to teach you how to do it in love and your relationship. And I'm here with my co host, Bruno Gill. Bruno.
Yep. Hi, guys. My name is Bruno. I'm a self-love coach. I help women be more confident, more authentic. Yes, and have more self-love within their lives, which is super needed. Confidence, authenticity, being who you are, saying who you are, staying true to who you are, right? And loving ourselves more. So, yes, absolutely. That's what I do. Yeah.
Beautiful. And today is a very fun conversation because what if the reason the relationship feels unclear isn't because we don't have answers, but because we are not responding to what's already happening? For instance, we keep thinking about it. We can replay it in our head. We can try to figure it out, but nothing changes because we are questioning instead of responding. And today we are going
Mhm.
to dive in talking about the relationship that is already showing us something, because that's the whole point of the relationship. And the real question is, are we going to keep thinking about it, or actually are we finally going to respond to it? And that's exactly what the conversation is all about. And let's just dive in and talk more. What exactly do we mean by questioning versus responding in love? Why questioning feels safer than responding? Because questioning actually keeps us protected. We can sit in our head and ask, what did they mean? Should I say something? Am I overreacting? And never actually risk anything because responding requires from us speaking up, being seen, possibly hearing something we do not like. For instance, if the our partner pulls back a little and instead of asking directly, we think, okay, maybe they're just busy or I don't want to make it a big deal, so we do nothing, we say nothing. And what happens? Questioning actually feels safer, but it keeps the relationship surface level and uncertain. Bruno, what do you want to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it's better not to say nothing. I think sometimes it's better to say nothing actually. Sometimes it's better to say nothing, because I feel like a lot of people in the heat of the moment say a lot of stupid shit. And like a lot of times people say, oh, it's like you truly know somebody's true colors when they're angry, you know. But I don't think that's
Yeah.
true. I think it's two different ways of being. One is to
Mm-hmm.
be in love, and the other one is to be in anger. Love and anger are two different things. It's two different vibrations. It's two different energies. One is positive, one is negative. Okay. And when you're in love, you say lovable things, you do lovable acts, you think lovable things, right? When you're angry, it's the opposite. You do angry things, you say angry things, you think angry things, right? Um, and so in the heat of the moment, sometimes if you don't want to take a deep breath, just shut your mouth because I doubt
Mm-hmm.
that something good is gonna come out of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So yeah, I mean, I think questioning things is very, very important, but you should always double check if the answers to your questions are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just assume that, if you're gonna self-reflect, which is what questioning yourself is called self-reflection, right? You're introspecting yourself. You're doing some self introspection. right? So, um, but then again, if you truly want to know if some why somebody did what they did, you should ask them in the first place. See if it's true,
Mm-hmm.
if it's not true, and say what your intuition says. Don't just don't just be like, oh, well, why did they do that? Well, maybe because of this, maybe because of that. I mean, um, the more we tell ourselves something, the more we're gonna believe it, right? And this is not just for relationships. This is for everything. The more you tell yourself that you can do something you can't, the more you tell yourself you can do something, you might be able to believe that you can, right? And in relationships, it's like if you keep telling yourself that, oh, this person said this because of this person said this because of that, you know, but you don't actually ask the person if it's actually true,
Mm-hmm.
then you're just going to keep believing that, right? And then when you do say to them, you're going to act like it's like 100% true because you said it to yourself so many times, you never had anybody to not make you believe something else, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I just wanted to add, yes, I totally agree when you say, when like you don't have anything good to say, or when you're angry, better be quiet. So that's the difference between reaction and the response, right? Response. So what we are trying to say, that yes, in the moment, if there is if our emotions are overpowering, yes, it's good to pause. But at the same token, what we are talking about is more about, let's just receive the answer that we are seeking, right? And it doesn't have to happen in a moment, but rather than sitting with the doubts and thinking what the person really think, the best way is to approach and ask them. And again, I do not believe that this is a real relationship if we feel uncomfortable to ask our partners directly, right? Again, it's all about the words that we are using, it's all about the tone that we are using when we conversate. But the idea is, I love to be in the partnership where we can actually talk things through, and we do, right? Not necessarily right away, but I love when we really know where we stand with people, and we question what it means. Again, if something triggers the other person, that means that that person has something to heal in themselves, because we are always the mirrors for each other. And I just wanted to talk about why overthinking delays what we already know, because a lot of times our body already knows. We feel something is off, we feel something is missing, we feel that something does not match. But when we overthink, we are just waiting, we are just delaying, right? We say, let's wait, let's analyze, let's be sure. For instance, if the partner says they care, but their actions actually inconsistent, we can feel it, right? And but then we think, oh, maybe I'm expecting too much, or let me just give it more time. So we are delaying that responding. And the truth is that overthinking doesn't create clarity, it delays the action that our intuition is already pointing to. And why
Mhm.
nothing changes when we do not respond? When we do not respond, the relationship continues exactly as it is, because no one has been shown what works, what doesn't, what matters to us. For instance, when the partner cancels the plans, often
Mhm.
we might feel
Mhm.
disappointed, but we do not say anything. So, what happens? It keeps happening, right? So, we cannot just expect the other person to know what we want. And a lot of times it starts from being honest, being open, and actually ask the right questions, right? Because if there is no response, there is no reason for anything to change. Because if we are expecting our partner to change, but we are not addressing and saying, like what is something that's important to us, we might wait for years. Bruno, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, no, 100%. I think like, things need to be talked about, and yeah, things need to be. Sorry about that. Sorry about the yawning. I'm just incredibly tired right now. For me, it's 8 p.m. and I had a very long day. A very long day. Yeah, so things need to be talked about. Things need to be. You need to speak about, what goes through your head. You need to speak what goes inside your heart, because, like, what you have inside of you is life. You don't want that to die inside of you or turn into something negative, you know? So, it's like you should trust your partner enough to question them, like, why did you say this way, or why do you say things that way,
Mm-hmm.
or like, why do you keep preferring, those people as something that they're not anymore to you, like, or like, why do you keep on doing things that I don't really relate to, I don't like, did you forget about it? Like, is it something I've done? Like, whatever it is, like, um, so things need to be talked about. And I think for a lot of men, it's very important, at least from my experience, which is short, but it's some experience at least. Um, Understand like that your woman will follow your lead. Like, no matter how, I think honestly, I believe that, like, no matter how much money a woman makes, no matter how beautiful a woman is, how wise, how capable, how resourceful, she wouldn't be with you if she did not want to have some sort of leadership from you, or some sort of like, some sort of advice, right? Because at least from where I come from, and at least that's how, I mean, that's what a woman would want in general. Um, and I just feel that a lot of times, the reason why a lot of women don't communicate their problems to men is because men don't communicate to them as well. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like, you don't open up about anything. It's like, neither do you, right? Oh well, I don't open up because you don't open up, and I'm kind of expecting you to open up, right? Because you're the woman, right? I mean, you could open up to me so I can try and help you. Yeah, but if you don't, but that's the thing. I just feel like, if a woman doesn't open up, if a man doesn't open up to a woman, why would the woman do it as well? Like, I've had dozens of women, loads of women, hundreds of women tell me the same thing. Friends, family, um, people online, just telling me the same thing. I don't open up to my boyfriend because he doesn't open up to me. Simple. Like, not every single woman is gonna make a man feel bad for opening up. Not every single person, not every single, woman is gonna do that. Because I know that I've also talked with men that had stories about their friends or past people that said she made me feel bad about opening up, you know. But in the other side, I also had women saying, I wish he opened up to me a little bit more. I wish he talked up a bit more, about what goes through his mind, what is going through, because he doesn't. And if even if I want to help him, I don't know how to help him because he doesn't say anything.
Mm-hmm. So
So
true.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
just feel as well that, like, a lot of men in relationships, you know, I feel like a lot of men, which I don't blame them though, to be honest. I don't blame them. They feel like they can't be helped, you know, because if you're in a traditional type of relationship, there's not, they believe that there's not much their wife can do about it. Neither it's their job is for them to do it for the woman, right? There's not much they can help them with when it comes to work, when it comes to anything, because they don't understand, they don't get it, they're not men. right? Um, and I kind of understand that. I kind of understand their point, but I still think that you could still. I'm not saying it's gonna go right. I'm saying you could try. I think you could try to speak like what you're going through, what you're feeling, because yeah, I mean your wife is not a therapist unless she's an actual therapist. But even if she's not a therapist, she's still somebody who should care enough to give a shit about listening to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, like why don't you just give it a shot? Because at the end of the day, you may have your coworkers, your friends and stuff, but your wife or your husband, they're the person you're going to home to every single day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys should be locked in like this, okay? You guys should be, and you guys can be, and you guys should do an effort for that, okay? Your partner is not just somebody you fuck, have sex with, whatever. Same thing. Make love to, whatever. Fuck it. It's somebody that it should be your best friend, right? It should be somebody to talk with, open up to, and as it sounds, right? It's not, of course, especially for someone who's not used to opening up and stuff. It can feel better. It can feel freeing, right? But I'll even say this though, for all the men as well. I mean, if you're with a woman who doesn't want to hear how your day was, like they only want to hear the good parts of it, not the bad parts, you know, because it feels like you're complaining and you're moaning and you're bitching and all that kind of stuff. She ain't the woman for you, anyways, bro. Forget about it. She ain't, right? Because you're a human being, you're not a robot. You're a human being like she is, like all the other women are, like all the other men are. You have emotions, bro. You have emotions, right? You are more than able, capable, and you have the right to open up about whatever you want with your loved ones, right? And whoever doesn't agree with that, like that you are related to, like a wife, a girlfriend, or your family, or your friends, I'm sorry, they're not for you. They're not the people that should be in your life. You should actively have people who genuinely want to listen to you, who genuinely want to open up, for you to open up, for you to genuinely help you. Those are the best friends you'll have. And whether if it's one or two, better to have two best friends or a good wife or whatever, or a good family than have everybody in the world who's nice to you and likes you and blah blah blah, because those people are probably just using you anyhow. So yeah, I think, yeah, question it, respond to it, but then again, I feel like just watch the state that you're in when you're doing it, but at the same time, like be man enough, to open up, right? Like being a man is not just muscles and shit. Like be man enough to talk, be man enough to be vulnerable, be man enough. That's it. Don't be a little bitch. Be man enough, because you can do it. Just be man enough. Just talk through it. Just let it flow. Let it free. Whether if it's with tears, you're voicing it. Just let it out. Let it all out. Who cares? Yeah.
For some people who never done it, it's going to be, in
Very
steps,
tough.
which is
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah.
like, the
100%.
idea is to start, right? And again, like
Yeah.
even in the relationship, I was always direct because it just, like it felt good to me to be heard, to be understood, no matter what the outcome is, because I believe when we are trying to preserve something that is artificial, because if we are not expressing ourselves, if we are not allowing our partner to know what matters to us,
Yeah.
it's like sooner or later it just like we are playing small and we are not living fully,
Mm-hmm.
because like you mentioned, that's what the partner is all about. Somebody we can cry to, somebody we can laugh with, and everything has to be in balance. Never take more than you give. There has to be a balance of giving and receiving for both partners. So why responding moves the relationship forward? Because responding creates movement. It brings things out of your head and into the relationship, because a lot of times we can sit and just think what the other person meant or what the other person wanted, right? That's why it's so
Mm,
important to talk about it. Like, okay, at the given situation, maybe yes, this is not the time to address it. Maybe just, like, get your fumes out of your body,
mhm,
of yourselves, right? And yes, like you said, it's okay to question yourself, but again, the only truth you're going to receive when you are questioning your partner. So
mm,
when we are actually responding, it creates that movement, and that can create the shift, it can create the growth, and it can be addressed. So instead of staying quiet, we say, I've noticed plans change last minute sometimes, right? When something does not um, go the way that we were planning to go. And the woman would just be voicing out saying, I've noticed plans change last minute sometimes, and consistency matters to me. So it's important to voice out what matters to you. And
mhm,
now the partner becomes aware, and they respond. And something
mhm,
shifts or doesn't. But now we have that clarity, we see it, because a relationship moves forward when something is spoken and engaged with, not just
mm,
thought about. And why responding puts us back in our power? Because when we respond, we stop waiting, we stop guessing, we stop adjusting ourselves to the situation, and we start leading our experience, because we are no longer reacting to what's happening. We are participating in shaping it. Instead of wondering, why isn't this progressing?
mm,
We might say, I'm looking for something intentional. Are we
mm,
on the same page? Right? Again, it's all about choosing the right words, choosing the right tone. So we are actually heard rather than feeling hurt, right? So truth is that our power isn't in figuring everything out, it's in how we choose to respond to what's in front of us. So
mhm,
we don't move a relationship forward by thinking about it, we move
mhm,
it forward by responding to that. Do you
mhm.
want to wrap us up, Bruno?
Um, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Well, like I said, in Irina said as well, step by steps, opening up
Mhm,
about how you feel in a relation, is step by step. Like if you're used to it, great. Like if you don't give a
mhm,
fuck, like which I
mhm,
respect and I admire a lot, because we don't see people like that every single day, right? On this earth, people who just don't give a shit, right? Um, I admire and I respect the heavens out of that. Like I fully respect it. Um, awesome. If you're not like that, that's fine. Step by step, and like don't see it as a weakness to open up. See it as respect. Like
mhm,
you respect yourself enough to give yourself the right to do it. You may not even you may not even believe like you may believe like uh, I mean whatever. I can still get my things done without having to open up. It's not that big of a problem.
mhm,
Okay, awesome. You might. Yeah, you might still be able to get things done. And okay, awesome, fantastic. It's not that big of a problem. That doesn't mean you can talk about it. It doesn't mean you can't open up to your wife about it or to your husband about it or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever. It doesn't mean anything, right? You should never be afraid to look weak or to look this or to look that in front of the partner you're with, because then you're not
mhm,
in a relationship or in a cage. You're in a cage of validation. You're in a cage of in a cage of yeah, you're not in a relationship like that. You're in a cage of validation. You're in a cage of I want to look brave. right? But looking brave sometimes is not actually being brave, because there's nothing brave than holding in something for the mere reason of not wanting to look weak. Like, are you weak? You're not. So why would you bother about your wife or your husband not wanting for you to look weak? And if they think that you're weak for doing those things, well, then I'm sorry, they're not the person for you, because you deserve somebody who sees that as a strength, not a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, like, every single day you can make the choice of being better and becoming better. Opening up, being more vulnerable with yourself, admitting to yourself that you're not fine, which is okay, or admitting to yourself that you are. Just, stop ignoring the truth, stop avoiding the truth. Just because you don't admit to yourself that something doesn't it stop from being true. You know it's true. You just manipulate yourself into believing it's not, so you don't have to deal with the shame and the blame and the guilt of knowing it's true, right? But it's okay, it's fine. Because if you don't admit it, down the line, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So you're fine. You're absolutely okay. Step by step, respect yourself enough to open up, to be more vulnerable around the people that love you. And your family didn't teach you how to be more vulnerable. That's not the problem. That's fine. Your family doesn't see that as a strength. Okay, don't do it with your family. Don't, that's fine. But the partner or your friends as well. But the partner you're with, your partner, the person you sleep with, have kids with, the person you marry, the person you go to home every single day, the person you have dinner with, whatever it is, the person you go to home with, that person has to be somebody you can open up with and sees that as a strength. They have to be. There is no cutting the corner. You need to be connected like that emotionally, where you trust each other enough to open up with each other. Because you don't open up with someone, you're probably going to open up with somebody else. Your husband or your wife doesn't open up with you, they're going to open up with somebody else. And we can only hope and pray that that person ain't somebody that they love more, right? Because they should
Mm-hmm.
love you more than anything else and anybody else. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful ending. So, for anybody, if you really, if something speaks to you with this episode, we would love to hear from you. Even if you drop something in the chat, even the heart or, the thumbs up, or share it with somebody who you feel wanted to hear that this is something relevant, because again, we are not alone on our life journey. Sometimes it can be challenging, so it's always good when you have that warm heart and just giving that helping hand to somebody else. So we'll see you on the next episode. Till then, have a beautiful, beautiful day and keep responding. Do not sit in your head. Connect with your heart and speak to your partner, because the right partner would be there for you. And that's exactly how life is. Thank you. See you